This is possibly the most important video you will ever watch about trading. This is because 95% of traders fail, and if you do not understand how to build unbreakable discipline, then I promise you will fall into the sea of failed traders who have come before you. There are 3 very important things that you must understand before you can have unbreakable discipline, and they are all equally as important. I would go as far as to say that without understanding these 3 things, profitability becomes impossible, so pay very close attention to what I'm saying in this video. The first thing that you absolutely must understand is who you actually are. You must have a deep understanding of yourself and your own mind. The only way that it's possible to do this is through self-awareness and mindfulness. You need to start to understand that you are not the thoughts running through your head. You are the awareness of them. Without having a deep understanding of this, you will constantly get carried away by the mind, and it will be impossible to build the discipline that you need to be a profitable trader. This is because your awareness acts as a buffer zone in between the thoughts that want to do the wrong thing and you who wants to do the right thing. If you do not have this buffer zone, then whatever thought that comes up that tells you to do the wrong action in trading, which will happen eventually, will carry you away and cause you to act like a monkey, basically a puppet on strings, just following the mind where it wants you to go and taking the wrong action. So you need to build this buffer zone of mindfulness, of awareness, where throughout the trading day, you have the self-awareness of, oh, my mind is thinking of sizing up, my mind is annoyed, my mind is frustrated, my mind is thinking of placing a trade outside of my trading plan. You need to have deep mindfulness and awareness of this happening in the moment that it's actually happening. This might not be what you expected to hear because this is a video about discipline, but this is how you start to cultivate that discipline within yourself. Is you need to understand yourself, you need to know how you work, you need to know how your mind functions. And without looking at it, without seeing it in awareness, it's really difficult to understand how you operate, to understand what affects you negatively. Just imagine this, you've taken 2 losses on the day, maybe you've lost a total of $400, and the mind starts saying, oh, I really want to get back to break even right now. But this time, instead of placing that third trade that maybe isn't even part of your strategy, you recognize and you notice that your thoughts are going in this direction. You recognize they're frustrated and you decide, no, I'm not going to act on this, because you have that buffer zone and you have that awareness. That is the first critical step of being a highly disciplined trader. So the second very important point to building unbreakable discipline is you need to understand why you actually do what you do. You need to understand the reasons behind why you are taking the wrong action at the wrong time, even when you know you're not supposed to. Even when you set positive intentions to do the right thing, but you end up going against your rules and doing the wrong thing. So what I want you to do is pull out a pen and a paper, whenever you have a chance, it doesn't need to be right now, and write down all the things that you know for a fact that you struggle with in your trading. First, make them known. So for example, if you struggle with over-leveraging, write down, I over-leverage because I think that it gives me this. So the actual reason why you're over-leveraging might be because you think it's going to get me to where I want to go faster. Now, below this, I want you to dispel this illusion, because that is not true. By over-leveraging, you are not getting to where you want to go faster. You are actually getting there slower because eventually you will blow up and then you need to start from zero. So there's an actual internal reason why you're doing this behavior. You are doing something because you think you are going to get something out of it. You don't just do stuff for absolutely no reason at all. It's like you wouldn't just walk up to a stove that's hot and put your hand on it and burn yourself. You would never ever do that because you don't feel like that's going to give you anything out of it. You know it hurts, but you know there's also no positive return from doing that. So what happens in trading is we know that over-leveraging eventually will hurt us, but we have an illusion, we have a belief that by doing that, we're somehow going to reach our goals faster, and that causes us to do this behavior. So we really need to get inside of our minds and look at all the things that we struggle with, and then start looking at the actual reasons behind why we do these things, what we think we're going to get out of it. So another example is, let's say you struggle with over-trading after you go into drawdown. You start to take trades that are outside your plan and trades that you wouldn't normally take. Well, the reason that you might do this is because you think, By doing this, I'm going to get back to break even faster, and I'm going to get rid of this pain that I'm feeling faster. But what ends up happening is you end up going deeper into drawdown. So what you thought would happen, and the reason why you're taking this action, isn't actually true. You are actually, most of the time, every now and then it might work, and God forbid it does, because it doesn't work for long. But if you take this wrong behavior, most of the time you're going to end up going deeper into drawdown, because you were taking trades with no edge. You were emotional while taking them. You're not seeing things clearly. You are overstimulated in a negative way. So start to realize that these bad behaviors you are taking part in are actually giving you nothing. But somewhere in your brain, you are programmed to believe that they will. So you need to really start to reprogram your mind to get on board with the fact that over-leveraging gives me nothing. Not following my risk management gives me nothing. Over-trading when in drawdown or in general gives me nothing. It will never give me anything, and it will only bring pain. You might have illusions from the past when you did these things and things worked out. But I promise you, in the long term, they will always bring pain, and they will never ever work or give you anything. So start to get your mind on board. Instead of fighting with willpower against these things, start to get your mind programmed into a state where it wants to do the right thing. Because doing the wrong thing, it just knows would never ever work. Just like you would never ever put your hand on a burning stove, because you know nothing good would ever come out of that. The third thing you need to understand to build unbreakable discipline is how dopamine works in your mind. So for a lot of us, we want instant gratification when it comes to trading. We want those big numbers on the screen because it releases the most amount of dopamine in our brains. When we're doing this, trading basically becomes like gambling. And when we take those oversized trades, it pumps our dopamine up so much that the next time you come into the trading day, you want that same level of stimulation. So the way you start to rewire this is you start to size down. You start to follow your risk management rules and basically be bored while you're trading. And this gets your brain onto a level where it's fine with the boring level of trades. But if you are taking big trades and small trades and all over the place, your brain is going to be used to this stimulation. So you keep wanting this instant gratification, and the more you expose your brain to it, the more it wants more of that. It's like a self-perpetuating cycle. So discipline is like a muscle that you need to start building, not just in trading and taking the right size in your trading, but also in your daily life. If you are eating sugar, drinking, smoking weed, going on social media, wasting time, doing all these things that are undisciplined in your normal life, then how do you expect to show up to the charts and be a super disciplined person? It's, probably not going to happen. I'm sure some people can do it, but it's less likely that you're going to make the right decisions, the clear-headed decisions that you could make if you were eating healthy, if you were exercising, waking up at a good time, going to sleep at a good time, not drinking. All these things that they affect your performance. And they also get your brain used to this high level of dopamine. So for example, if you did a high level dopamine activity, such as drinking the night before, and then you go into the trading day, your brain is going to want another highly stimulating activity, which would mean oversizing, which would mean gambling. You're not going in thinking, oh, I'm focused on long-term results and doing the right thing over a long period of time. No, you go into it thinking, I'm focused on instant gratification. I'm focused on making a lot of money right now because it would feel good. So you need to understand that the reason why you do what you do is much deeper than what you might expect. And by deeply understanding yourself, reprogramming your mind and realizing why you actually take the actions that you take, and living your life in congruence with the way you want to trade, being a disciplined person in your normal life is going to help you immensely to get to where you want to go in trading. I do offer one-on-one coaching on this material, and if you're interested in that, shoot me an email below, and we'll work out a time slot that works for both of us.